Hey everybody, Monday morning sit down here with Dennis Williams as we recap the last weekend that was for the Bloomington Thunder here. And Coach, thanks for taking the time here to sit down with us.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It's so obviously you come away with 2 points on the weekend, and you know I know we talked earlier about the game in Chicago, and it wasn't necessarily the route you guys wanted to go, and you missed out on 2 points in that game, but it was still probably a good thing to come away with those 2 points in the shootout against the Omaha Lancers on Saturday night.
Well, I think anytime you get points is always good, especially in this league. You know, I was just talking to a few people here this morning, and one of the biggest things you want to do each weekend, if you can get points, you're probably in the hunt, you know. And we gave up a couple there on Friday, and, you know, Chicago played a good hockey game, and we're still learning as a young group how to close off wins and how to play with leads, and not take nothing away from Chicago. They know they got a timely power play goal there late in the game, and you can see the Olsen boy there had the hat trick right for them, and there's a reason why he's an NHL draft pick and a Nebraska Omaha commit, and you know you don't need to give him 2 or 3 chances. He'll bury the puck, and we have to do a better job identifying teams' best players as well and knowing when they're on the ice and their presence. And you know, then we came back Saturday, which was a great character test for us because we've never lost a Friday game. I don't think this year, or been behind in something like that. So you know, and it was a game of highs and lows. You know, you're up 2-0, you're down 3-2, you tie at 3-3. They had a couple good chances late in the third, and we held on and won in a shootout. And you know, that's a big point for our guys. And real proud of the way they battled, and you know, on the weekend to get the split. And but a lot of things we can learn from it as well.
So let's dive into that Friday. And you know, you mentioned it, the one power play goal, but you also early in the game they scored their first goal right at the end of a penalty kill too, and I know the penalty kill's been pretty solid going for the first half, but you know, adding up penalties, and I know you were a little upset with the type of penalties that the team was taking. How do you kind of cut down on those going forward in this season?
Well, I think it's guys getting, you know, obviously learning it as well. You know, we are taking a lot of what I think is undisciplined, silly penalties. You know, they're not ones that are rationale. You know, there's ones that I think get lazy and when we quit thinking. And the only ways you get through it is you take away guys' ice time. You know, like I always, you know, when I grew up, if there's something out there that you love to do, the easiest way my dad would get back to me is take away the one thing you love, and that was hockey, right? So it's no different here. Is if it's a repeat offender, as we call on our team, then you know maybe it's sitting a period, maybe it's sitting a game. But you don't want to get to that. You want guys to identify and learn quicker than that. You know, because you don't like sitting players, you don't like taking away ice time. But you know, we can't afford to be taking penalties. Even in Omaha, we took some in the third period that they're just unnecessary. You know, they're not tough penalties. You know, and there's a difference. You know, there's times when you might get might get a penalty for charging more of an action penalty. You know, where we don't want those either. But at the same time, you're rather kill off hard nose action penalties instead of the reaction penalties, and we started taking some of those there. So definitely an area that I think we need to clean up on. But our penalty kill's been really solid so far. You know, I think that starts with our goaltenders. Both David and Logan have been solid in the back end, and you know, we've done a good job getting bodies in lanes and sticks in lanes and keeping them to the outside.
Now, against Chicago, you're not going to go head back to Bensenville for quite some time until April 3rd. So you see Chicago 3 times here in the building. You haven't seen them in the U.S. Cellular Coliseum, but based on the 2 performances against Chicago, you know, what's the gauge on this team? How intense is this rivalry going to get here as we go through the season?
Well, yeah, I'm not really sure. You know, like it's us being new. You know, it's a little bit different. You can definitely see in the league the skill set, right? Like it's the players play hard, but there's not a lot of extracurricular stuff after the whistle, which is nice, you know, because it's all about playing the game right and playing it hard whistle to whistle. Definitely being in the proximity, you know, you hope as the year goes on and in the following year that you start to get that rivalry between the 2 teams, because it's an easy drive for a lot of fans to get to. But Scotty McConnell does a really good job with their guys. They're a very good hockey team. You know, they got depth, they got speed. You saw their speed on Friday. There's a couple times they came down, and I don't know if I don't think we touched them. You know, like they're inside, outside, and you know our D are pivoting, and you know we're crisscrossing up and that. But you know they got a lot of tools there. They play a good team game, and definitely one that, you know, because like you said of how close they are. You know, if we get a little bit of that going, it will make it fun and entertaining for the fans.
So then you jump to Saturday night, and it turned into a shootout game. In the first period, you were able to capitalize the end in the middle of the first period, and then right at the second period, get 17 seconds off. It seemed like all the momentum was headed your way. And then right at the 10-minute mark, it seemed to kind of shift towards Omaha. They scored 3 unanswered goals. And in that game, your team ended up battling back and pushing it to that overtime. What was just kind of the sway of emotions in that game and just the momentum? It was kind of nuts.
Well, it's good for the guys to learn that, right? There's highs and lows in every hockey game. There's highs and lows on Friday night, and there's obviously the ones you saw there where the 2-0 lead in hockey is the most dangerous lead, right? You score that third one. I don't want to say the game's in your favor, but it's definitely in a much higher percentage, and then if they score, it makes it 2-1, you're on your heels, and they score 20, 30 seconds later, and it's 2-2, but it's good for our guys to learn that. We're a new team. We're still trying to build our culture, trying to build our locker room. We're still trying to learn how to close out games, how to win games, how to come from behind in games. There's a lot we're trying to learn as a group, and I was real happy with them. At the end of the day, we battled back at that big goal there by Ryan Galt on a really nice face-off play by, Jenks went in and kicking it back. Gurns kicks it back to Pedri, and a really heads-up play by Vince going short side off the back wall and Galt going to the net. And so there's a lot of good things happen off that. And, for us to get the 2 points at home, it's like that was a big extra point, and our guys could easily packed it in. Again, as a new team, there's a lot that a lot of people would just say, they're a new franchise. They're supposed to be under 500, or they're supposed to be 5. And our guys aren't settling for that right now, which is kind of which is a lot of fun to work with. They want to win games. They believe in each other right now, and they're definitely feeling good about the way they're playing, and they're playing confident. They're playing loose, and I think that's the biggest thing right now is that the belief in the systems and then each other are there, and they weren't just settling for it's 3-2. It's kind of the licks we're going to take early on. Like they found it in their bellies to battle back against a very good Omaha team, and we said that about them, and you saw it. It's their play and players and team is not even closely to what the record was. And you saw how quickly that game can change with them, and but for our guys to battle back and force an overtime and force a shootout and win, it's my hat's off to them.
Now, on that goal for Ryan Galt, was that a kind of designed, or is that just Vince Pedri going off the cuff and being a smart hockey player from the point?
Well, do you want the truth answer? I'd like to say, what? It's a really smart play. The play itself was, it's the interchange we have with the wingers is there. But for Vince to make that play, to not force a shot, to not get a block, to see that he didn't have a lane and to shoot it hard like that short side, knowing how lively the boards are, that's all Vince, making that decision, on it. Because at the end of the day, we have systems set up. We have plays set up, face-off plays. But you still got to be a hockey player. You still got to read it. You still got to be able to handle it. And the way Vince did that, and with Gultsy there going to the back door and battling off a defenseman and putting it on net, that was a lot of hard work by that group. And that line played really well for us, and Vince has played really well.
And for that final shootout attempt for Omaha, I know you said after the game you talked to David Jacobson. How exactly do you play a shot like that where a guy falls down? It just kind of seemed like a fluke, but it turned out to be a great little push for your hockey club there.
Yeah, I felt really bad for the boy there. That's you never want to see that. That's a tough way, and I said to David, I said, what were you thinking, Dave? Like, I was watching the play, and I was like, holy, now what does he do? And Dave kind of jumps out and touches the puck, right? But it was, it's unfortunate, but again, we'll take the win and move on, you don't like to see a game sometimes end that way, and you like to see it. But if you were to ask our players, and if you're asked to Dave Jacobson, they're just quite happy the way it ended, because again, we go out to win the hockey game, and as we say to our guys, we sometimes win games the right way, and sometimes we don't deserve to win. But at the end of the day, it's all about getting the 2 points, and we definitely found a way.
Well, pretty solid pink the rink night against Omaha, and now you've got to head to Youngstown for a 2-game set. It's the first time, you mentioned it after the game, it's the first time you've had the 2-game set against a team, and you got to travel to Youngstown, which you've seen twice already this season, and you're in a 2-way tie for third place with them right now in the standings. So a lot of kind of points riding on this weekend here for your hockey club.
Yeah, I didn't realize that's where we were in the standings. It's a little early for us to be, looking at anything like that, but it's nice that we get to focus on one opponent. It's something that, whether or not we can go out and get that 4 points, but it is nice that you can focus all week on not having to cut film for another team and worrying about changing a little bit here or there. It allows us to kind of ramp up and get ready for Youngstown, a team that is. You saw what they did on Saturday. They put up 6 goals, I think, there in the game, and they got some high offense, and they got a really good mix. From guys that compete and bang, from guys that can score and make plays, to good goaltending and D-men that can move the puck and join the rush. So we always said another good test. It's going to be a good battle, and one that we seem to play them quite a bit here throughout the beginning of the year, and obviously one of the teams that. We haven't got to win again. So our guys, our focus has to be is going out there and again worrying about us and the way we play and just taking a period at a time. And if the puck doesn't go in the first period and we're down, we're down. We got to keep battling. And there's lots of hockey and lots of time left. So our guys will be focused. They'll be ready, and I think the excitement will be there.
Well, Coach, I appreciate the time. We'll do it again next week here Monday after the trip to Youngstown.
Very good. Thank you.
All right, that's head coach Dennis Williams. It's the Monday morning chat. Catch us this weekend in Youngstown, 7 o'clock start Central Time against the Youngstown Phantoms on WJBC.com through Stretch Internet or on FastHockey.com. You can catch the broadcast as the Bloomington Thunder take on the Phantoms this weekend. That's all for us here on the Monday Morning Sit Down. Catch us next week. We'll be right back here on Bloomington Thunder TV.